Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I am actually getting on an airplane headed to Los Angeles for the Black Wealth Boot Camp. And in the Black Wealth Boot Camp, I'm going to spend 2 days going through 100 pages of deep dive material on my new book called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. My PhD is in finance. You guys know this. I've taught finance to students at Syracuse University, Indiana University, the University of Kentucky, etc. And also, as a black man, I can tell you this. When it comes to money, one of the things that I really want you to be really careful about are limiting beliefs that were taught to you as a kid when it comes to money. And then when people come along and they teach you about money, usually it's a white guy teaching you things that work for white guys but may not work for us. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, but you're not white. And ultimately, in the black community, there are unique challenges that we experience that make it a little bit more difficult for us. There are also unique opportunities that we have that other people don't have, unique talents that I think we have that other people don't have. So don't just sort of limit yourself based on the fact that you're black. Racism is real, discrimination is real, but also opportunities are real. And I want you to be able to see all of those things, not just the part that people tell you to see. So one of the things I want you to understand in terms of rules of money, some things that I want to lay out for you that you want to keep in mind is, number one rule of money is that you really want to always think like an owner. Wealth is what matters, not income. A lot of times when we grow up, we're taught that income is the most important thing in the world and that your goal is to get a good job, and that just doesn't make a difference at all, because you can't pass that wealth down to your kids if it's somebody else's wealth. You can't pass a job to your children. You can't just pass income from that job to your children, but you can pass assets to your children. So ownership is a really important part of wealth. So you want to raise your kids and you want to think in terms of ownership most of the time. Second thing you want to realize is that financial literacy and spending time learning about money is really important. A lot of us don't spend much time learning about money, but we love money. That doesn't make any sense. So when someone says that I don't have any money, well, my question would be, well, how much time do you spend learning how to acquire money? If I want to be a great basketball player, I spend time on the basketball court. If I want to be a great dancer, I spend time on the dance floor. So if you want to be good at money and making money, then you should spend time in the spaces of people that know how to make money. The third rule about money that's really important is just sort of realizing that delayed gratification is really important when it comes to money. That's a core value that's not really taught very much in general in terms of public schools and stuff like that. They teach us in media, they teach us a lot about instant gratification. And I've gone through all the financial equations that are out there. I know that there are financial gurus and stuff that say what they want to say, but I've studied the research. I've studied rich people versus poor people. I've studied over 100 years of data on stock market growth and all the different ways that people obtain wealth. And one thing I can tell you is that investing is heavily connected to your ability to delay gratification, your ability to make a sacrifice for the future. All investing is the ability to sacrifice something today so you can have more tomorrow. That's literally all that it is. It's pretty basic, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The next rule of money that I want you to keep in mind is consumerism. Black people, we are trained from birth to be the ultimate consumers. You are trained in school to spend, spend, spend. Media trains you to spend, spend, spend. They have a million different ways to engage in psychological manipulative techniques to keep you spending your money, spending your money, spending your money. This is not by accident. This is all by design. This is one of the reasons why when we created the Black Business School that has helped over 10 million of our people build wealth for the first time, we hired therapists. We hired an army of black therapists that could work on these psychological barriers that keep us from building black wealth. So we built the first ever Black financial therapy department that focuses solely on the limitations, limiting beliefs, financial trauma, financial anxiety, how post-traumatic slave disorder even links to your economic choices, so that we can overcome that and get the right mindset when it comes to building wealth. The last rule of money I would throw in there is this: making money is a team sport. If you don't know who your team is, if you're trying to do it all by yourself, or you don't want to build relationships and you don't want to connect with others that can help you get there, it's going to be a lot harder to get there. A lot of white folks are able to build wealth in a way that is tough for us because they have relationships with other people that have money. You know, you'll hear all the time about millionaire kids that start these multi-million-dollar companies that basically are like, oh, I borrowed, $500,000 from my uncle. Well, most of our people can't do that. Most of us don't have the opportunity to go borrow $500,000 from our uncle. So, but you do have your cousin, them, and you have other people that have other forms of wealth that may not be financial, but they may have relationships. They may have skill sets. They may have some free time. You know, remember your family, your people around you, that's a multi-million-dollar asset if you know how to tap into it. So I want to encourage you to do that and understand the important link between relationships and money. So those are some rules of money, rules of wealth that you may want to keep in mind. The biggest thing I'll tell you too is don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what the school system tells you about money. Don't believe what the media tells you about money. Don't believe what white folks tell you about money. Don't believe what rich folks tell you about money. I started off poor. My mother was 16 years old when she got pregnant with me. My father wasn't even there the day I was born. My mother remarried, but my father wasn't there when I was born. Me and my wife both went from poor to having some resources. And one of the things I can tell you is that the biggest thing that I learned that helped me to become wealthy was I stopped listening to other people around me who were stuck in a poverty mindset. Anybody who ever tells you that being poor means you got to stay poor is not your friend. Anybody who tells you that because we're struggling and that rich people only get rich because somebody gave them money or they got lucky, that's just lazy thinking, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm not saying that they don't have advantages. I'm not saying that some of them weren't born with silver spoons in their mouth. But at the end of the day, there are things you can do, and I've studied this. I know this. This is what my PhD is in, and I'm not here to just tell you things that'll make you feel good. I'm here to give you that confidence to go and look for the solutions. The solutions are out there. You just have to believe that they exist. So go find those solutions. That's how you can become successful. Well, I'm going to go, guys. My website is boycewatkins.com. I have a free training you can feel free to check out called How to Make Money Without Working. Believe me, most rich people make a lot of their money without doing any work. So don't believe that labor is attached to work. That's kind of crazy. Now, labor is attached to making money. You don't have to have labor to make money, to be honest with you. But then also at boycewatkins.com, there's some other things like my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, also available on Amazon. Feel free to check that out. I'd love to help you. This is what I do. I've been on this for 30 years, and I know this stuff very, very deeply. And I've taught finance in China, in Europe, and around the world. And I'd love to help you be successful. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm headed to Los Angeles for the Black Wealth Boot Camp. If you want to learn more about that, you can find that also on my website. Take care. I'll see you soon. Peace.